The topic is more practice using equations to find unknown angle measures. Can you create equations using angle characteristics in order to find unknown angle measures? So our first example asks, what should be the sum of angle QPR, angle RPM, and angle MPT? So looking at them, when I draw in their arc, angle QPR is right here, and then angle RPM is right here, and angle MPT is right here. So just by looking at that, I know that their angles on a line, so their sum is going to be 180 degrees. Okay, see there's a line. When their angles on a line, their sum is 180 degrees. Okay. So now it says to find the measurement of angle QPR and angle MPT. So just looking at that, I can set up an equation in order to figure out what their angle measures are, because you know that their sum is 180 degrees. So I have A right there plus 154 plus A, and their sum is 180 degrees. Okay? So from there you got to simplify it before you can build it. So A plus A, that simplifies down to 2A. Bring down your plus 154, your equal sign, and your 180. Okay? Now that you've simplified it to where there's just a variable on one side of the equal sign, you can build it. Start with A, then we multiplied it by 2, and then we added 154. Okay? So the inverse operation of adding 154 is subtracting 154. And you gotta do that to both sides of that equal sign. 154 subtract 154 is 0. 180 subtract 154 is 26. Bring down equal sign, bring down that 2A because it's still there. Okay, now go ahead and go on back up. Inverse operation of timesing by 2 is to divide by 2, so that's what you'll do to both sides. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times A is A. And 26 divided by 2 is 13. Okay, after that, once you get your variable, you need to make sure you always substitute it back into your angle measurements, okay? Just in case they want you to do something further with it. Here, I'm just saying, oh, that measurement is A degrees, and A is 13, so it's 13 degrees. Okay, but whenever you're writing down an answer, you want to make sure it's very, very clear so that there's no question about what the answer is. So since it's asking me for the measurement of angle QPR, I'm going to write the measurement of angle QPR is 13 degrees. And then the measurement of angle MPT, once you substitute back in, is also 13 degrees. And I'm going to draw a big old rectangle around it so it's very obvious that that is my answer. Okay, the next problem, what's the measurement of angle P? I do want you to draw an equation to help you come to the answer. So I know this angle plus this angle plus this angle. Well, look, all those three angles, they're angles on a line, and their sum is going to be 180 degrees. So this angle, which is 61 degrees, plus this angle, which is labeled with a P, and this angle, which is 68 degrees, their sum is 180 degrees. So there's your equation. From there, you just simplify it, okay? So 61 plus 68 is positive 129. Bring down your plus P, bring down your equal sign, and your 180. Now you just build it. Start with P, then we added 129 to it. So the inverse operation of adding 129 is to subtract 129 and do that to both sides of that equal sign. 129 subtract 129 is 0. 180 subtract 129 is 51. Bring down your equal sign and bring down the P. So measurement angle P is 51. Well, hold on. P equals 51, but we have to substitute it in. Okay, so it's just plain old P right there. So then that right there is 51 degrees. Be very obvious about your answer. The measurement of angle P is 51 degrees. Okay, for your summary, I want you to go ahead and find the measurement of angle R. Sorry about the shadowing in here. What is that? What is happening? Okay, sorry. So there is your angles, and it's not drawn to scale. So if you took a protractor and measured it, it's probably not accurate, okay? But anyway, if I gave you that information, you'll find the measurement of angle R. Okay, now turn the page, please. Okay, so right here it says angle ABC and DBC are blank angles. So go ahead and kind of think about what kind of angles those are. Think about the angle vocabulary that we've gone over. And remember what this means right there, okay? So ABC and DBC are complementary angles. So their sum is, so when you add this angle plus this angle, their sum is going to be 90 degrees. Okay? All right. So now it says we got to find the measurement of angle ABC and the measurement of angle DBC. So we got to figure out how many degrees is this and how many degrees is this. And I want you obviously to set up an equation for this, please. Excuse me. So I know that this right here plus this right here will have a sum of 90 degrees, okay? So now we just got to simplify it, and then we can build it to figure out what x is equal to, and once you get what x is, you substitute it back in, okay? All right, so 3/2 x and 2x, those are like terms. And if you're not liking the fraction, you can switch 3/2. If you go 3 divided by 2, like in a calculator or in your brain, you would get 1.5, 1 5/10, okay? So you can be thinking about that because it's cool to switch that to its equivalent decimal if you totally want to. So 1.5x plus 2x is 3.5x, or you can do 3 5/10. But don't forget that x, okay? And then bring down your plus 20, and bring down your equal sign, and then that 90, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and build it. So I start with x, then I multiplied it by 3.5. Then after that, we added 20. So the inverse operation of adding 20 is to subtract 20. We're going to do that to both sides of that equal sign. 20 take away 20 is 0. 90 take away 20 is 70. So I'm going to rewrite it over here because I ran out of room. So 3.5x equals 70. Okay, now I'll go back on up now that I've simplified it. The inverse operation of timesing by 3.5 is to divide by 3.5. That says divide by 3.5. Sorry, it's so sloppy. We do that to both sides of that equal sign. Okay, and then 3.5 divided by 3.5 is 1. 1 times x is x. 70 divided by 3.5 is 20. Okay? Now remember what I want you to do is you have to substitute that answer back into your angles. So take that, and I'm just going to draw an arrow just to show you where it goes. Okay, so now to figure out this angle measure, I have to go 2 times x. Well, remember x is 20, so 2 times 20, that's 40. So the measurement of angle ABC is 40 degrees. Okay, and now the next one, I'm going to substitute that 20 back in right there. So 3/2 x, or you could do 1.5, and times x. X was, what did I say, 20? And then after that, you have to add 20. Okay, so that's really 60 divided by 2 plus 20. 60 divided by 2 is 30. 30 plus 20 is 50. So this measurement of this angle DBC is 50 degrees. So remember, once you get x, you need to make sure you substitute it back in. On the first examples on the first page, they were just plain old x. So then you knew that that was just the answer, okay? X or whatever. But here, remember, when there's like an expression up there, you substitute it back in to figure out that angle measure. A faster way that you could have done this is if you already knew that that was 40 degrees and you know that there's a complementary relationship, you can go 90 minus 40 to get this 50. Or you could always, substitute it in. The next problem. Looks like we've got to find the measurement angle Q, angle R, and angle X, okay? So, gosh, when I'm looking at this, they give us some information right here, but, it might be kind of hard for some people to start. I see that they give us this angle right here. They give us that this one right here is 90. They give us that this is 27. When I'm looking at this, I want to see, hey, I know vertical angles are always congruent. I want to see if this 27-degree angle is vertical to this Q. So here's how to check. You find its line and you trace. Okay, it was straight through. I didn't have to bend or anything. Okay, here, straight. Perfect. So that means that Q and this 27-degree angle are vertical. Vertical angles are always congruent, meaning they have the exact same angle measure. So the measurement of angle Q is 27 degrees, because that's what that says. Okay, and from there, I can label it right here, because it helps me. And now you'll see that this angle right here is 90, so that means Q and R, they are complementary. So I know that 27 plus R should equal 90 degrees. And so when I build it, I have to go start with R and then added 27. So inverse operation is to subtract 27. Do that to both sides, please. So R is equal to 63 degrees. So R is 63 degrees. And then from there, you should know that if this right here is 90 degrees, then this side right here has to be 90 degrees because this and this are supplementary. So if this is 57, I need to go 90 minus 57, or I can go 57 plus S equals 90. When I built this, I start with S, then we added 57, so the inverse operation is to subtract 57 from both sides. So S is equal to whatever 90 minus 57 is, which is 33. So angle S is 33 degrees. Okay? All right. Now, this bottom question for your summary. In the second example above, boom, right there, I need to know what is the measure of the unlabeled angle. So if you're like, what is she talking about? I want to know what's the measurement, how many degrees is this angle right here? This one that's not, this one that is not labeled. Okay? That one right there. How many degrees is that? You know that this one's, what, 27? You know that this one is, what is R? That one's 63. You should know that that's 57. You should know that S is 33. This one's 27. So what do you know about all those angles at a point right there? Use that to help you determine what that missing angle is. Okay? Okay, and then turn the page, please. Okay. Oh, you have angles up here and they're not labeled, so that's going to require some work. And look, there's some information right here, so that's definitely what you're going to use to help you solve this problem. The measurement of angle SPT is B degrees. So let's find SPT and let's label it right away. SPT, it's B degrees. So they're saying, label this one, that one's going to be B degrees, okay? And then it says the measurement of angle TPR is, 5 more than 2 times SPT. Wasn't SPT B degrees? So let's start with B degrees. 5 more than 2 times this. So I have to show 5 more than 2 times this. Here's 2 times this plus 5 more. And that's going to be its degree measurement, okay? Oh, and that third angle, measurement of angle QPS is 12 less than 8 times SPT. Goodness, that can kind of sound confusing. So try rereading it. That measurement of this angle right here is 12 less than 8 times SPT. Well, wasn't SPT B? Okay, so start with B. 8 times that, and then 12 less than that. That's going to give us that degree measurement, okay? So there's our little situation right there. Now we got to find the measurement of each one of those angles according to this. Well, I would love for you to set up an equation. So this right here is 8B minus 12. And then I got to add to it this B, because remember their sum right here is going to be 180 degrees. They're angles on a line. So plus B. And then after that, I got to add this angle right there, which was labeled by 2B plus 5. And if you remember, angles on a line have a sum of 180 degrees. Okay? So from here, we're just going to go ahead and simplify this thing. 8B plus 2B plus B, 8, 9, 10. So that's 11B. And then negative 12 plus 5. Negative 12 plus 5 is a negative 7. and that's going to equal 180 degrees, okay? Now we could totally build it, okay? Start with b, multiplied it by 11, then we subtracted 7. Inverse operation of subtracting 7 is to add 7, so you're going to do that to both sides of the equal sign. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. 180 plus 7 is 187. Bring down your equal sign, bring down your 11b. Now that you've simplified it down, go back up. Inverse operation times 11 is to divide by 11, and do that to both sides of the equal sign. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 1 times b is 1b or b. 187 divided by 11 is 17. Okay, you're not done because we want to know the measurements of these angles, and like I've shown you in the past, you need to substitute that back in. Always substitute it back in, okay? To make sure you don't need to do something further. And in this case, we totally do. There we go, okay? So for this one, remember b was equivalent to 17, so I'm going to substitute that in. So I got to write, instead of writing the b, you're going to write a 17 there. But it means multiply, because that means when the variable is smushed next to a coefficient, it means multiply. Minus 12. So it's 8 times 17 minus 12. And when you do that, you would get 124 degrees. So this measurement of this angle right here is 124 degrees. Okay? I'm going to write that down before I forget. That's what QPS, 124 degrees. Okay, now I saw that this one is just plain old B, so B was 17, so this is 17 degrees. So the measurement angle SPT is 17 degrees. Then this last one over here, we still got to substitute it, so 2 times, remember B was 17, plus 5. 2 times 17 plus 5 is 39. So this measurement, this angle is 39 degrees. TPR. So to make sure you're correct, since we see that though there's just those 3 angles on a line right there, when I add all these 3 together, it should equal 180 degrees. And I think it does. So. Then, wait, right? 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, good. 3, 6, and that one. Good, 180 degrees. So these are the correct answers. Okay, your question for your summary. What you to remember about the above example that will help you solve similar problems in the future. So what is something from this above example that you need to take away from it that will help you solve similar problems in the future? Okay, the sum of 2 adjacent angles is 72. Okay, let's stop right there and kind of piece together what the heck it's saying. So the sum, remember, sum is when you add something together, and this answer is the sum. So I know I'm going to have to add something together. Add together to get sum. And there's 2 adjacent angles. Okay, adjacent, you should know that word. Adjacent just means that they're angles that are right next to each other. They just share, you know, a common ray. And the sum of those 2 adjacent angles is 72. Okay, so 72 degrees, sorry. So I know that it's going to kind of, this is just a really rough sketch. It's going to kind of look like this. Pretend that whole thing is 72 degrees. And then the ratio of the smaller angle to the larger angle is 1 to 3. So there's a smaller one, and there's a bigger one. And when I add them together, it's going to equal 72. The whole thing is 72. But I got to add this guy plus this guy to equal the 72. Okay? Find the measure of each angle. So I'm going to set up a variable for my equation here. So I know x, I'm going to use x to represent the smaller angle, because the ratio is 1 to 3, okay? And then I'm going to use 3x, because it's 3 times as big, 3 times the smaller angle, to represent the larger angle. So when you look at this, you could be thinking, okay, so this guy's x, this right here is 3x, and their sum was 72. So let's go ahead and set up our equation. X plus 3x equals 72, and I got the 72 from the information from the paragraph. Okay, let's simplify before we build it. X plus 3x, that's 4x, and that equals 72. We're not done because you got to build it to help you if you need it. Start with x and we multiply it by 4. Inverse operation multiplying by 4 is to divide by 4. Do that to both sides. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times x is 1x or x. 72 divided by 4 is 18. Okay, we're not done. We gotta figure this out here. So 18 is a smaller angle. 18 degrees. And, oops. 18 degrees. And the way I got that is I just substituted it back into either there or the information right here. Okay, and then the larger angle would be 3 times x. So 3 times 18 is 54. So the larger angle is 54 degrees. And is 54 plus 18 equivalent to 72? Yep, so that's correct. Okay, the last one. Before we even start this, I want you to write this down. The inside angles of all triangles have a sum of 180 degrees. This is super important forever. The inside angles, which a word that I would prefer, instead of saying inside angles, I want you to say interior angles. Interior means inside. Of all triangles, like all triangles in the whole wide world, have a sum of 180 degrees. So in other words, if you had like a triangle, like a triangle, you know, if my lines were perfectly straight, then this angle plus this angle plus this angle, those inside angles, those interior angles would equal 180 degrees. Even if the triangle looked like this. This angle plus this angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. If it looked like, like that, this angle plus this angle plus this angle would equal 180 degrees if you measure them with a protractor, okay? But please make sure it's like a real triangle, like the lines are straight segments, okay? All right, anyway, let's go ahead and find the measurement angle U, V, T, R, and S. And at first this may look intimidating, but start off with what you know, okay? Cover up the stuff you don't care about. I don't care about all that. Right here, I see a supplementary relationship. So I know that those two angles add up to 180. So I'm going to start there. So I can go 133 plus U equals 180 degrees. To solve this, I want U plus 133, so the inverse operation of plus 133 is to subtract 133. Do that to both sides. So here we have U is equal to 47 degrees. Okay, so that sucker right there is 47 degrees. Okay, that looks a little scary. There's like no information, so let's go. Oh, right there. There's information right there that you could totally use. Another supplementary relationship. So I know that 143 plus V should equal 180. So when I built this, I started with V, then I added 143. So the inverse operation of adding 143 is to subtract 143. So that's what you do to both sides. So you have V is equal to 37. So this sucker right there is 37 degrees. V is 37 degrees. Okay, then you have this little issue right there. There's like not much information, but I gave you this giant hint right here, okay? Let me go ahead and just make it completely stand out. My highlighters here. Okay, hint. Oh, look, a triangle. Okay, so using what you know and what you've just found with those two angles, the 47 degree angle and the 37 degree angle, I'm hoping that you can find that third angle of that triangle, okay? You should go, okay, there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So I know that angle T plus this, what was this again? 47 degrees plus this 37 degree angle will have a sum of 180 degrees, okay? And then you're going to combine like terms. 47 plus 37 is 84. So you have T plus 84 equals 180. Then from there we built it. We started with T, then we added 84. So we're going to subtract 84 from both sides. So 84, take away 84 is 0. So T is equal to whatever 180 minus 84 is. And I think it's 96. Let me know if I'm ever wrong, okay? So right there, T is 96 degrees. Okay? Okay, now that you have information in that little pocket over there, you just kind of continue. So if this is 96 degrees, let's see if it's vertical to R. Tracey, trace, tracey, trace, matchy, matchy. Yep, so this is 96 degrees. R is 96 degrees. Okay, now that last little part right here, you can see, oh, a supplementary relationship here, or you can say supplementary relationship right here, whatever. So 96 plus S should equal 180 degrees. To get S by itself, you subtract 96 from both sides. S is equal to whatever 180 minus 96 is, and I think it's 84. So S is 84 degrees. Okay. So your question for the summary is, what do all of the interior angles of a triangle add up to? Write it down. Bye!